Welcome to Stoic Habit Builder, your space to grow stronger every day. Here, we don't chase motivation. We build discipline, peace, and purpose through timeless Stoic wisdom. If you're ready to master your emotions, strengthen your mind, and live with calm confidence, you're in the right place. And now, let's begin. Have you ever noticed how the harder you try to control everything, the more life seems to slip out of your hands? We live in a world obsessed with control. Control over time, over people, over outcomes. But the more we tighten our grip, the more anxious, restless, and lost we become. Think about it. We become. How many times have you pushed yourself so hard for something, a job, a relationship, a goal, only to feel drained, frustrated, and empty when it didn't go your way? It's not because you didn't work hard enough. It's because you were fighting against the natural rhythm of life. The Stoics understood this thousands of years ago. They believed that peace doesn't come from forcing results. It comes from aligning yourself with the flow of reality. When you relax, not by giving up, but by releasing the illusion of control, something incredible happens. Your mind clears, your focus sharpens, your energy returns. Because here's the truth: creativity, wisdom, and strength don't come from chaos. They come from stillness. When your inner world is calm, life begins to move in your favor. Opportunities appear effortlessly. People respond differently. You make better choices, not because life suddenly got easier, but because you got clearer. So maybe the secret isn't to do more, to chase harder, or to stress your way to success. Maybe the real secret is to breathe, to trust, to let go just a little, because when you learn to relax, truly relax, life starts to unfold exactly as it should. 1. Let go of the need to control everything. There's a moment in life when you realize, no matter how hard you try, you simply can't control everything. You can't control what people say about you. You can't control the weather, traffic, or timing. And the more you try to control it all, the more you end up controlled by your own frustration. The Stoics understood this truth better than anyone. They taught that suffering doesn't come from the world itself. It comes from our resistance to it. When we demand that life must go our way, we create our own misery. But when we accept that some things are outside our reach, we finally taste freedom. Think about how much energy we waste trying to force outcomes, replaying conversations, worrying about what might happen, fighting against what already is. That tension, that anxiety, that constant need to manage everything, it's what drains the soul. And ironically, the moment you stop trying to control everything is the moment you start to feel powerful again. Because real power isn't about control, it's about clarity. It's about focusing on what's truly yours to influence. Your mindset, your choices, your attitude. That's where peace begins. That's where wisdom grows. So the next time life throws you something unexpected, instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" try asking, "What can I do right now within my control?" Then do that, and let the rest go. When you learn to relax and trust that not everything needs your grip, you create space for clarity, creativity, and calm to return. That's when life starts to move again, not because you forced it, but because you finally stepped out of your own way. Tension is a sign of resistance. Have you ever noticed that the moments when you feel most tense aren't always the hardest ones, but the ones you refuse to accept? It's not the situation itself that breaks you. It's your fight against it. Think about it. When life doesn't go your way, when someone lets you down, when plans fall apart, when the future feels uncertain, what happens inside you? Your body tightens, your mind races. You start asking, why is this happening? It shouldn't be like this. That inner resistance, you keep saying to reality, is the real cause of your suffering. The Stoics taught that tension is simply the body's way of showing us we are at war with what is. And you can't find peace while you're fighting the present moment. You can't breathe freely if you're constantly pushing against life itself. But here's the paradox. The moment you stop resisting, the moment you finally say, "Okay, this is what's happening. Now what can I do with it?" something incredible shifts. Your shoulders drop, your breath deepens, and suddenly what felt impossible starts to feel manageable. Acceptance doesn't mean you approve of what happened. It doesn't mean you give up. It means you stop wasting energy on denial and start using that energy to respond with strength and clarity. Life is always speaking to you, even through the moments you hate the most. And when you learn to stop fighting reality, you stop creating unnecessary pain. You begin to see things as they are, not as your fear paints them. And that's where real peace begins. So the next time tension rises in your chest, don't fight it. Breathe. Recognize it as a message. You're resisting life. Then soften and let it flow through you. That's where your true power lives. In calm acceptance, not in control. 3. Relaxation doesn't mean giving up. Many people hear the word relax and instantly think it means stop trying. They imagine sitting back, doing nothing, and letting life pass them by. But that's not what true relaxation means, not in the Stoic sense. To relax doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop panicking. It means you stop letting fear be the reason behind every move you make. The Stoics never preached laziness. They taught calm action. They believed the strongest person is not the one who rushes to fix everything, but the one who can stay centered when everything around them is falling apart. Because when your mind is calm, your actions become precise, focused, and powerful. Think about the times you've made your worst decisions. They probably came from fear, anger, or desperation. Now think about the moments when you acted from peace, when you weren't trying to prove anything to anyone. Those were the moments when everything just worked, weren't they? That's the difference between action driven by fear and action guided by wisdom. When you relax, you're not stepping away from life. You're stepping into it with more clarity. You're no longer forcing results. You're aligning with them. You're not quitting. You're trusting. The Stoics remind us, the calm warrior is always the most dangerous one. Because calm doesn't mean weak. It means controlled. It means your energy isn't scattered by panic. It's directed by purpose. So no, relaxing doesn't mean giving up. It means choosing strength over struggle. It means moving forward with a quiet confidence that doesn't need to shout. And when you reach that state, when you act without fear, your actions carry a power that chaos could never create. 4. A calm mind brings clarity. Imagine standing by a lake early in the morning. The water is still, perfectly smooth, and it reflects everything around it with crystal clarity. But the moment you throw a stone, ripples distort the reflection. You can't see what's real anymore. That's exactly how your mind works. When your thoughts are calm, you see life clearly. You can recognize what matters, what doesn't, and what deserves your energy. But when your mind is filled with noise, stress, anger, overthinking, everything becomes blurry. You lose your sense of direction. You start reacting instead of responding. The Stoics knew that wisdom doesn't come from thinking harder. It comes from thinking quieter. Because only a still mind can see the truth as it is, not as fear or ego wants it to be. Think about how often we make decisions out of panic, rushing into things, saying words we regret, taking actions we later undo. That's what happens when the water of your mind is disturbed. But when you slow down, when you take a breath, observe, and let your emotions settle, the answer often reveals itself on its own. Clarity doesn't scream at you, it whispers, and you can't hear it if your inner world is loud. That's why calm isn't just peace, it's power, because from calmness comes focus, patience, and the ability to see opportunity where others see chaos. The next time you feel overwhelmed, don't rush to fix everything. Just pause. Let the noise fade. Because when your mind becomes still, life starts to make sense again. And in that stillness, you'll see paths that were always there, waiting for you to notice. 5. Belief shapes reality. Have you ever noticed how two people can face the same challenge, yet see two completely different worlds? One feels crushed, the other feels called. One sees chaos, the other sees order. What's the difference? It's not the situation, it's their belief. The Stoics understood this long ago. Our perception shapes our experience. It It's not what happens to you that defines your life. It is how you interpret it. When you believe the universe is against you, every setback feels like proof. But when you trust that life unfolds with reason, that every moment, even the painful ones, has its place, you stop fighting reality and start flowing with it. Belief isn't about blind faith. It's about alignment, understanding that you are a part of a greater design, not separate from it. And when you accept your role in that design, something shifts inside you. You stop forcing outcomes. You stop clinging to control. You begin to attract harmony instead of chaos, calm instead of resistance. Think about it. Your mind is a lens. If that lens is clouded by fear or doubt, everything appears distorted. But if it's grounded in trust, in a quiet confidence that you are exactly where you're meant to be, your world starts to clear. You begin to see opportunity where others see obstacles. You start to grow instead of shrink. So ask yourself, what story are you believing right now? That life is random, or that it's meaningful? Because whichever you choose will become your reality. The Stoics remind us, you don't control the universe, but you do control your perception of it. And sometimes that's all you need to change everything. Don't demand, just do your best. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Do what is right, the rest doesn't matter." Those words might sound simple, but they hold a power that can completely change how you live your life. Most of us are taught to chase results, to win, to achieve, to be recognized. But here's the Stoic truth. The moment you become obsessed with the outcome, you start losing control of yourself. Because the outcome is never fully yours. You can control your effort, your integrity, your consistency, but not the final result. And that's what Marcus was reminding us of. When you focus only on doing what's right, on giving your best in this moment, something beautiful happens. The pressure fades. You stop fearing failure. You stop comparing. You start acting with calm, with clarity, with strength. And ironically, that when you perform your best, because your energy is no longer wasted on worry or doubt. Think about an archer. His job is not to control where the arrow lands. It has to draw the bow with perfect focus and release with skill. Once the arrow flies, fate decides the rest. That's how life works. You do your part. You show up fully. You give everything you have, and then you let go. When you live this way, you'll find peace even in uncertainty. Because your self-worth no longer depends on external success. It depends on your inner discipline. And that kind of strength, no one can take away from you. So, the next time you feel anxious about results, remember Marcus's wisdom. Do what's right. Do it with heart. And let destiny take care of the rest. 7. Let go of the fear of the future fear. It is one of the most powerful emotions that controls us. Not because of what's happening now, but because of what might happen next. The future, that invisible, unpredictable place, becomes a monster we build in our own minds. But here, as the truth the Stoics understood long before us, fear doesn't come from the future itself. It comes from living in it. We suffer not because of what is real, but because of the stories we tell ourselves about what could go wrong. Think about it. How many nights have you stayed awake replaying scenarios that never actually happened? How many times have you held yourself back, not because something stopped you, but because of a fear that only existed in your imagination? Stoicism teaches us something incredibly liberating. The future doesn't exist yet. The only place where life truly happens is now, right here, in this moment. That's where your power is. Not in yesterday's regrets, not in tomorrow's worries, but in today's actions. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Never let the future disturb you. You will meet it, if you have to, with the same reason that arms you against the present." That means, trust yourself. Trust that when tomorrow comes, you will have the strength, the wisdom, and the courage to face it. You've survived every single challenge up to this point. Why would the next one be any different? When you return your focus to the present, fear loses its grip. You stop living in imagined pain and start creating real progress. You stop surviving in your mind and start thriving in reality. So take a breath. Stop trying to control a day that hasn't even arrived. Do what you can today, with clarity, calm, and conviction. Because the future will take care of itself when you take care of now. 8. Relaxation is a sign of trust. In yourself and the universe. Panic is not a sign of pressure, it's a sign of doubt. When we panic, it's because we don't believe we can handle what's coming. We doubt our own strength. We question life itself. And that doubt makes everything heavier than it really is. But when you truly trust in yourself, in your ability to adapt, in the natural order of things, you don't need to tense up. You relax, you breathe, you move with life, not against it. The Stoics believe that relaxation is not laziness, it's confidence. It's the quiet assurance that no matter what happens, you'll be okay, because you've faced storms before, and you're still here. You've been through things that once terrified you, and somehow you made it through. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it's endurable, then endure it. Stop complaining." That simple line holds profound wisdom. Life becomes lighter when you stop fighting reality and start trusting your strength. Imagine this. 2 people face the same challenge. One panics, tightens up, and loses control. The other breathes, observes, and acts with calm precision. Who do you think wins in the end? It's always the one who trusts, not the one who doubts. So the next time you feel anxiety rise inside you, don't rush to control everything. Instead, remind yourself, I've handled so much already, I can handle this too. That's what true strength looks like. Calm under chaos. Relaxation doesn't mean giving up. It means standing so firm in your belief that life will unfold as it should, that you no longer need to panic your way through it. You trust your preparation. You trust your resilience. And most importantly, you trust yourself. Because peace isn't found in perfect circumstances. It is found in unshakable faith that you can face whatever comes next. Your emotions are not the enemy, but they should never control you. Your emotions are not the problem. They're signals, not shackles. But most people spend their lives being dragged by their feelings, reacting instead of responding, exploding instead of understanding. The Stoics never told us to suppress emotions. They told us to master them, to step back, to observe, to ask, what is this feeling trying to teach me? Because once you can watch your emotions without being owned by them, that S when you reclaim your power. Imagine you're standing in front of a storm. You can't stop the wind, but you can stand still. You can't silence the thunder, but you can choose not to run. That's emotional strength, not the absence of feeling, but the presence of control. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." And that includes your mind's emotional storms. When anger comes, pause before it burns bridges. When fear arises, look at it instead of fleeing. When sadness visits, sit with it. But don't unpack your bags there. You're not your anger, you're not your fear. You're the awareness behind them. Think about it. Every time you react impulsively, you give your power away. But every time you pause, you reclaim it. That pause, that single moment of awareness, is where self-mastery begins. So don't fight your emotions. Acknowledge them. Listen to them. But remember, they're passengers, not the driver. When you learn to feel deeply but act wisely, you stop being controlled and start being composed. And that's when your presence becomes unshakable, calm, centered, powerful. Because real strength isn't being emotionless. It's being emotionally intelligent. It's leading your emotions instead of letting them lead you. Dunium, everything you're searching for is already within you. We spend so much of our lives chasing peace, chasing success, chasing happiness. We tell ourselves, once I get that job, once I meet that person, once I achieve that goal, then I'll finally be at peace. But have you noticed that every time you reach one finish line, another appears? That's because peace isn't something you find out there. It's something you uncover in here. The Stoics understood this better than anyone. They didn't look to wealth, fame, or praise for fulfillment, because all of those things can vanish overnight. Instead, they looked inward. They built their peace on something no one could take away: their own mind, their own principles, their own sense of purpose. Epictetus once said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Freedom, real freedom, begins when you stop depending on external circumstances to feel complete. Think about it. You already have everything you need: courage, wisdom, patience, resilience. They've been with you all along. But in the noise of the world, we forget. We forget that the calm we seek is indeed hidden in a destination. It is found in returning to ourselves. So stop chasing what's constantly moving away. Sit still. Listen. You'll realize that peace isn't earned, it's remembered. When you align your actions with reason and live in harmony with nature, not fighting against what is, but flowing with it, you rediscover the stillness that's been waiting for you all along. The Stoics didn't escape life to find peace. They faced it with clarity, and that's what you're called to do too. Because the truth is, you've been carrying the peace you're searching for since the beginning. You just needed to stop running long enough to feel it. 11. When you relax, your natural energy begins to flow. Have you ever noticed how water moves? It doesn't fight the rock. It doesn't try to break through the mountain. It simply flows around it, calm, effortless, yet unstoppable. That's how life works. And that's how you work when you stop forcing and start flowing. When you're tense, when you try to control every detail, every outcome, you block your own energy. You become rigid. You lose creativity, intuition, and clarity. But when you relax, when you let go of that inner pressure, something beautiful happens. Your natural energy, the quiet force that drives you, begins to move freely again. The Stoics understood this harmony long before modern psychology gave it a name. They taught that the universe is built on balance, not brute force. When you realigned with that balance, with nature's rhythm, you stop struggling against life and start moving with it. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." That's not just philosophy, it's instruction. It means stop pushing against what is. Breathe, return to your center. Because when your mind is calm, your actions become precise, and precision always beats pressure. Think about the times when you've been in the zone, completely focused, at ease, yet powerful. That wasn't luck, that was flow. And flow only comes when you stop resisting and start trusting. So instead of fighting the current, become like water. Adapt, move, bend without breaking. Because the universe doesn't reward tension. It rewards harmony. When you relax into life, you stop blocking your own path. You stop trying to force results, and instead, you allow success, clarity, and opportunity to find you. The truth is, peace isn't passive. It's the most natural and powerful state you can live in. And when you master that, nothing can stop your flow. 12. Peace is the ultimate power. Have you ever met someone who just radiates calm? They walk into a room and instantly, the chaos seems to quiet down. They don't have to raise their voice. They don't have to prove themselves. Their peace speaks louder than words. That kind of energy, that quiet confidence is rare. But it's also magnetic, because in a world full of noise, stillness becomes power. The Stoics understood this long ago. They believed true strength isn't found in control, domination, or loud displays of power, but in inner calm. When your mind is still, you can see clearly. When your heart is steady, your decisions carry weight. And when your energy is peaceful, you draw the right people, opportunities, and outcomes toward you, effortlessly. Modern psychology calls this the law of attraction. But the Stoics knew it as living in harmony with reason and virtue. When you're at peace within, the world outside naturally aligns with you. Because calmness isn't weakness, it's control. It means you're no longer a slave to emotion, chaos, or opinion. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The nearer a man comes to a calm mind, the closer he is to strength." That's the essence of manifestation in Stoicism. Not wishing for good things to happen, but becoming the kind of person they're drawn to. So when the world feels loud, when everything seems to demand your reaction, choose stillness. Pause. Breathe. Because peace is not the absence of power. It is power. And once you master that calm energy, you'll stop chasing what's meant for you. It will start finding you instead. Relaxation is not stopping. It's trusting the flow. You see, relaxing doesn't mean giving up. It doesn't mean you stop caring, stop trying, or stop growing. It means you finally stop fighting against life. Most of us were raised to believe that success only comes from constant pressure, that if you are not pushing, you're falling behind. But here's the truth. Pressure doesn't create peace. And without peace, even success feels empty. Relaxation, in the Stoic sense, means trust. Trust in yourself, in the process, and in the natural rhythm of life. You still act, but your actions come from calm confidence, not fear. You still chase your goals, but you do it with grace, not panic. Think of it like sailing. When the wind changes, you don't scream at it. You adjust your sails. You move with the current instead of against it. That's what true strength looks like. Flexibility, not force. The Stoics taught that when you release fear and live in harmony with nature, the right things start finding you. Not because you've stopped working for them, but because your energy is aligned with what you seek. You attract peace, opportunities, and people that match your inner calm. So take a deep breath. Loosen your grip. You don't have to control everything to create the life you want. When you learn to act calmly and receive outcomes with gratitude, you'll realize everything you once chased was always moving toward you. You just needed to stop resisting long enough to let it in. Because real power doesn't come from tension. It comes from trust. Remember, peace is power and wisdom is built one habit at a time. Thanks for watching Stoic Habit Builder. If today's message spoke to you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and keep building the strength within.